How's it going, guys? In this video I'm going to be diagnosing and rectifying a fault that's in this 1.6 tdci Ford Fusion. This is a very common engine. It's in a lot of other Fords, it's in Citroens, it's in Peugeots, and I'm going to go in now and I'm going to start it up and show you what the noise is. So as you can see there, you have a lot of smoke coming up through. You have a noise of popping, so it's a banging noise like a combustion noise. And I'm going to be showing you a step-by-step process of how I'm going to rectify this particular fault. So the first thing of note with this is when you see that type of smoke coming up, depending on the smell of it, it is a combustion. It's a combustion noise. So what I believe this is blow by on the injector seal, but we'll get a bit further into it. We'll strip a bit of the components around and just double check that. If it is, I'm going to be showing you how to reseat injector seals and how to clean up around the injectors should it be that particular fault. So let's crack into it. The first thing I'm going to want to do is make room, so I'll be taking up this air breather box here and I'll be removing any attaching components that allows access down to the injectors itself. So I'm going to take this off first and start to make room. Just getting ready to take the air breather box out of the way now. I took the air filter out. You don't necessarily need to do that. You have T25s here that lift up. Disconnect this intake pipe here with the clip. There's an 8mm that sits down here, and then the primer for the fuel filter is here, and you just push them clips back and twist it up out of the way. I also disconnected this electrical connector at the back, which is just a flip up, and then this box is nearly loose, so I have a bit of room made now, and I'm just checking to see if there's something at the back that's holding it first, and then this will come up out of the way. Have the box up out of the way now. I'm just about to disconnect this pipe, and on the underside there you can see 1, 2, and they push into these rubber grommets here, so you just reach down the back, pull straight up, and that comes up out of the way, and you can start to see where some of the problems lie. I'm going to continue to make room now and start to take up more here and gain access down to these injectors down there. Just about to remove this now, and so we have this clamp up here, flat screwdriver, disconnected this here, torque head down on this lower side, and also torque head there, and you twist it up out of position and pull back. You can see there's a clip that wraps in around there, so that gives us more access now to start to take the top rocker cover off. I've just pulled this pipe back now. That's actually an 8mm bolt that was there, not a torque. So I'm just having a look around and seeing what needs to be removed to get this rocker cover up. I'll have to move this loom out of the way. These little, I think it's 7mm head on that side, probably another one down on the lower side, and then remove all of these bolts here. All of them have to be removed. I disconnected this electrical unit back here, which is the same type of clip again. It's just pull up out of the way and pull back. That's basically it. So I'm going to start loosening all of these now and seeing what else I need to take, get the loom out of the way and get the top of the timing cover back out of position to try and lift this up. So I've taken out a good few of the 8mm around here now, just starting to make more room. There is 4 7mm in here actually that I've taken out. I slackened this off for the very inside one, which is just down here. Allows more room when you lift this up and come in from this side. I've taken one 8mm there, and I'm about to slacken this torque head here. Alright, so since you last seen it, I have the injector connectors removed. I just use these two hooks here to pull some of the wiring and plumbing at the back out of the way. Disconnected torque heads top and bottom on this pipe here. This is the timing cover, so there was actually another one in there, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in total, and they are 7mm. I disconnected these here. I think that was an 8mm down on the inside here, and then a torque head which is still in position just down there. And now I'm beginning, oh, and at the back, at the very back here, I'll see if I can give you a look. So just at the back in here, see that? There is a bolt, and there's another bolt on this side as well. So if you look down here now, you can see what's seated in position that needs to be pulled up. So that's jammed into that. So I'm just getting ready at the minute to pull the rocker cover up, and then it's clean these injectors. Now I have the rocker cover finally up. These down here, there's 4 of them for the inlet, and they're held in by O-rings. So you'd be pulling directly up on both sides. I used a pry bar and just levered in from this side into the corner to remove it. As you can see, it's very, very well clogged up. An O-ring stayed in that one. Just make sure you have all 4 O-rings collected afterwards. And you can see the heavy carbon buildup that's on some of these. Now that we're in that far, when we inspect down, number 2 looks very suspect. It looks like it's the wettest and dirtiest out of them all. But I will be removing all 4, and I will be replacing the injector seals on each one of those. So to remove the injectors, we're going to want to disconnect the fuel pipe, of course, and then see this bolt down here. This has like a clamp that sits in over it. So we take that out, pull that clamp out, and then the injector, with a bit of persuasion, should come up the ways from that. So that's the next steps I'm going to do. I'm going to remove all 4 pipes, all 4 bolts and clamps, and then take them injectors up out of that. Okay, so I removed the clips that hold the injectors all the way across, and that's one of them there. And then all the pipes were disconnected, and I have disconnected the fuel return line on number 2 because I'm going straight after number 2 here. What was done then is put a pry bar down in between here and just try and get a twist on it. So just down into that space like that, and once I got a twist to break the seal, rocked it back and over, and it actually pulled up out of position then. So as you can see, that's the injector, and we still have the seal stuck down below there. So I'll just be following that process on 1, 3 and 4 to remove them all, and then it'll be get the injector seals out and clean up all the area before I install the injectors back down again. But as you can see, that this engine is absolutely filthy. Another tip is just put a rag down in the inlet manifold holes, so that when you're taking out any fuel return pipe clips or anything, that nothing falls down into that position. Just put a rag down over the top rocker box here as well, so that no dirt will get into it. And as you can see on the top of the screwdriver is number 2 injector seal and injector washer. Let me see if I can get a view for you. So down there, that's where it was, and screwdriver was just put straight down, and this has got the hammer through top on it. Picked a size that was ideal just to go through the middle of the washer, and it gripped it, pulled it straight up. So the next stage in this now is to start cleaning the actual chamber down here where the washer seats, and what I'll be doing is blowing some air down into it first, and then I'll be showing you the tool I'm using to start cutting away the carbon and basically the crap buildup that we have all along the sides. I don't know if you can see that well or not. Try and get a good view. Yeah, I think you can see it pretty much good there. See all that dirt down there? When we're putting in the new washers, we want it to be nice and clean. Just out in the bench here, washer and the screwdriver, which I showed you in the last clip. These are the 4 brand new injector washers, and this is the tool I'm going to be using to clean up that area. So it's called an Injector seat cutter set, and it consists of pretty much all the different types that you would need for the different injector application. So inside the kit you get 4 different cutting pieces, and I'm just going to set this up now. I'm going to show you the one I'm going to be using and how this particular tool functions. So as you can see here, number 1 is a universal fit, number 2 is Delphi, Bosch injectors, BMW, PSA, Renault and Ford. Number 3 is a Bosch injector, Mercedes, CRD, and then Fiat and Iveco is number 4. So it's most likely number 2 that we'd be after. So to set these up, you pick the one you want, you take out this piece of the kit here, you line up the notch with the grub screw here, which is this Allen key, slide it in, and then you just tighten this in here, and that's it, pretty much set up and ready to go. And then when you want to wind it down, so get the teeth to cut into position, you will be using the T-bar here onto the top. So as you can see there, after the very first quick initial use of the tool, it has cleaned it up considerably, and you can see all the carbon and dirt that has been collected in that. But what I'm going to do is just clean the tip off this again and just give it one more little run through, and then this injector should be ready to fit back in again. And number 2 is now completed in the cleaning process. What I plan on doing is I'll put number 2 down. I'm going to do 3, 4 and 1 separately, and then I'm going to clean up around this area when the injectors are back in seated, so it won't risk putting anything down in them chambers again. So that is the plan. Get all of these done, get all of the areas the injector goes down in, get them reseated and have it ready to go, and then I'll clean up around the top. There isn't a whole pile I can do with the inlet side and that heavy carbon that you can see in there. I'll probably recommend some treatments, some intensive treatments to try and soften some of that stuff out. But if I go cleaning that and a load of it falls down into the engine itself, I could find myself in a lot of trouble when I go to start it. So I'm not going to be able to do much with that except clean the very top side where the O-rings sit, and I can clean this extensively here, so I can run some cleaner through that, no problem. But on the engine side, I will have to avoid going too deep in cleaning with that. And that is the process so far. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on, do the next injectors, and I'm going to check back in with you a bit later on when I have much more cleaning done and a lot further along the line. So as you can see there, the injector is now clean. The areas to focus on when you're doing this is around the tip here where the injector seal sits, just along the shaft here, because you don't want to be dragging any dirt or carbon down, and here also, so that will slot in nice and easy on both sides. So this is all ready to go and back in again. This is a Siemens injector. This is not a repairable type, I believe, so if you do have an injector fault, you will have to replace this unit. And that is pretty much it. We will be installing this, And one last thing, if you only wanted to replace, we'll say if you only had one blow-by injector, so if there was only one of them that was leaking and blowing up, tip would be to know which one it is, obviously, because you have to quite a bit of stripping down on this, would be to look around the injector, and if you have that build up on one and not on the rest of them, you'll know that this is the one that the combustion is blowing up past, and you're getting that excessive heat and mixture sticking on the back of the injector there. So that is it. This one is ready to go back down with a new seal now, and I will check in with you a bit later on. Just about to take number 3 up now. This was a very difficult one to remove. I had to actually put force on the side of the injector here to get it to rock. So if you look at that position there, you always want to get it to twist to try and break the seal away before you start, and it was extremely jammed trying to do that. So I left it seeping in cleaner a number of times, and then I used force backwards and over and eventually broke the seal, rocked it back and over for 10 or 15 minutes and got it to come up out of position. So this is it coming up now, and as you can see, it's in terrible condition. Let's see down the hole. And you can see how bad that is. So this is the reason we go to these lengths, to make sure that we have a good seal on them all. And number 3 is horrendous, as you can see there. So we're going to go set about cleaning that now and get it seated right again. And with the first round of cleaning, as I cut down, let me see if I can get that yet. So as I cut down a bit, I re-clean this, and then I use the vacuum that I have to suck up some of the carbon. But as you can see, it's cleaning it down nicely, and I'll continue this process for another bit until I have the area completely clear and ready to reseat the injector again. And as you can see now, that is all clean. This is a stage by stage process, so it takes a lot of time going back and over, making sure that everything is as it should be before reseating the injector and seal again. But that is as much as I'll be showing in this. I don't want to drag this video out too long. Cleaning process and that is now done. I'll be doing more cleaning up around here, but now it's a fit back of number 3, start number 4 and follow that process. I just popped number 2 back up there for a second because I wanted to show you something. This was broken on number 3, and that sits there like that. If that has happened to you, or that happens to you on any of these jobs, that is a guide, so that just keeps it central going down. But the reason I believe that has melted is because of the combustion chamber gases and heat that's coming up there has melted that plastic away on number 3. Number 3 has shown to be the worst one out of these, with number 2 also having blow by, but not to the level of number 3. And that is it. Just wanted to give you that quick tip on what that was and why it has broken away. It's a good bit later now. It's currently 9:20 on Saturday, so I don't know how much more I'm going to shoot of this particular video. Position is, everything is now pretty much back together. Timing cover, expansion tank bolt, and that is pretty much that. I have all the seals put in, all cleaned. I cleaned up around this area here as good as possible without going to next level and stripping the engine down completely. So it is ready for starting, but I'll probably have to do a good bit of bleeding. I'm going to prime with the bubble here and see how we go. I'll spend a little bit longer at it and prime it up. If I get it going tonight, I'll include it in the video and you can hear it running, you can hear the difference. It's all back together now and the job is complete, and thankfully everything is all good. The blow-by is now gone and it's sounding like it should. For anyone that's interested, that diesel injector seat cutter, I will link in the description. If I can find the exact one, I will. If not, I'll just link in a different one. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please like, share, comment and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.